Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this neat little cassette boombox behind me. Believe it or not, it actually converts into a Walkman. This is the Amfiton 401. It's a Soviet-era boombox Walkman that was built kind of during the fall of the Soviet Union, the 1990-1991 era. So it was that time frame where they were starting to want to get into that Western kind of vibe with things, but they still had that very Soviet, very USSR build quality and feel to them. So I thought it'd be neat to take a look at today. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's get this thing out of its spectacular box here. All right, so looking inside, I mean, I will say it is a heavy styrofoam box, but kind of lackluster. I think originally it had some kind of paper sleeve that went over the whole thing. But anyway, on the inside we have the unit, and here it is. I mean, just a cheap plasticky little boom box. Probably what you would expect from a Soviet era thing, but neat nonetheless. So we'll go ahead and get that out of there. It does come with the headphones, nice 80s and 90s foam pads. Reminds me of the really early Walkman stuff, like from the early 80s. And then we have this power supply, 220 volt power supply with just hilariously thin wire. I be a little bit scared to plug this in, but we're going to try it anyway. So that's everything out of the box. Let's get this out of the way here, and let's take a look around this unit. Now, it's small. This is, I don't have big hands, but just a neat little unit. Now, the thing that I think makes this unique is that, yes, it is a Walkman that becomes a boombox, and that's really what attracted me to this unit. I was looking for Soviet era, little portable hi-fi stuff. I've always been kind of fascinated with the Soviet era electronics and cameras and things, because a lot of the time they just copied stuff that was made by famous manufacturers worldwide, and this I don't think was copied from anything. I can't really find anything similar to this, so I think this was their own design, and I think it's pretty ingenious. I mean, during that Soviet era, people didn't have a lot of money, they couldn't have a lot of things, so with this type of a setup, they could have a portable cassette player and a little boombox all in one device. So I think that was pretty neat, considering what they had to work with. Now, the little Walkman itself is actually really heavy. It's got a lot of weight to it. The cassette door is a little bit broken on this one, but a decent little cassette mechanism. I'm going to have to test to see if it's stereo or not. I can't tell by looking at that head. It's supposed to be. It says stereo. But it is a metal mechanism. I can see a metal flywheel in there. I mean, it is a cheap mechanism, but it looks better than a lot of the stuff that's being built, in modern times nowadays. It does have a headphone output there. Looks like that's the interface to the boombox part. And are we going to still have batteries in here? No. And it looks like it takes a bunch of big batteries in there. Let me, I think there was one left in the package, which is probably fortunate, so I can kind of look up and see what it is. Yeah, there's one of the batteries. Really huge coin cell. And it looks like it would have taken 6 of these. So I would assume these were probably a popular battery at that time. I've never seen anything like that. Kind of interesting, but the contacts don't look like they're corroded or anything, so it doesn't look like it was stored with batteries, so that's good. Put that back together. Nothing really on the back. maybe an adjustment for speed or something. But on the top, got our eject or play button, fast forward and rewind, volume and tone. So very, very Spartan controls. Yeah, it does say stereo on the front there. So I guess we'll find out. Now, as for the Walkman itself, let's go ahead and get this locked back in there, or for the boombox itself, I should say. Really, you just have tone controls, volume. You still have the controls here on the tape deck. On the back, it does have room for what looks like D-cell batteries, foam that's fallen apart. And what makes it kind of neat is that your speakers actually, one of them anyway, actually will detach. So you can kind of have a little portable stereo. Now, I don't know, how great that's going to be with these cheap speakers, but the whole thing does have a nice weight to it for what I would consider to be a cheap Soviet model. Now, I've been told that the cassette mechanism does not work. It just spins around. So I'm guessing the belts are bad in it. So first thing we should probably do is get this thing opened up and take a look inside. We'll be able to look at the mechanism a little bit better, and we'll go ahead and replace those belts. So I'm not really sure which of these screws actually holds the back on. These three are a little bit bigger than the others. So I think we'll go ahead and try taking these bigger three out first and see if that releases the back. I don't want to accidentally release the cassette mechanism or a bunch of stuff from inside and then have a mess on my hands. So let's try these. Yeah, those are long screws. I'm thinking these are the ones that hold the back on. I don't expect this to be very complicated on the inside. It feels like there's something holding that bottom section on. Okay, that's just kind of a neck strap or shoulder strap. Be safe. Let's take this screw out here. Yeah, it seems too short to really have done anything. I don't see anything inside that compartment, but it is not wanting to release right there. Gentle prying, maybe. There we go. Which way do we want to pull this off? Let's go this way. All right. So on the inside, yeah, that's a pretty simple mechanism. And yeah, the belt is, yeah, you can see it laying down there on the circuit board. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to replace the belts on this thing. Looks like this one maybe, no, they're all well, that main belt actually is okay. It looks like it's maybe the secondary belt that goes to the cap stand, maybe. Looks like it goes from around there to the cap stand and the flywheel, and then around this mechanism. Okay, simple enough. Let's see if we can take it apart a little bit further. Put together a little bit tighter than I expected. this thing out of the way. So we can maybe pull this out of there. That's just spinning. I know this thing's going to be terrible, so I don't want to spend too much time messing with it because I'll probably never use it. We can get in there enough just to, we might be able to get in there enough just to get that belt changed out. Now if we look on here, it looks like there was a belt that ran this way and then a belt that ran this way. So it looks like there might have been two more belts in there instead of just one. I guess we'll find out. Let's get it cleaned up. Get all that goo out. Now there is a lot of belt goo in there. So we'll use some isopropyl alcohol. Get that saturated. Hopefully that'll wet it up a lot enough to start getting bigger chunks of it out. I mean, it is all over the place, and it's not just limited to this Soviet stuff. I mean, American and Japanese and just about everything from that era, the belts just turn to mush as they get older. So it really has nothing to do, I don't think, with the inferior quality of this thing. I think it just has to do with the quality of stuff in general from that time period. They all use that type of belt, and maybe they didn't know, after 40 years or 30 years that they would fall apart like they do. But they do, and it makes our lives a little bit more difficult as a result. But I don't think when they were building this, during the fall of communism, that they thought that somebody in the United States, 30 some odd years later, would be trying to restore it and put it back together again. So to their credit, I don't think they expected it to last this long, and they didn't build it to last this long either. All right, well, let's finish getting this cleaned up. I'll throw a couple of belts on it, and we'll see if it works. Well, the bad news is after I started cleaning it up and digging around a little bit, I found a bunch of broken plastic pieces and a little metal clip and everything on the inside, and it turns out the mechanism is kind of shot. So unless I go find another used one, have it shipped over from Ukraine or Russia, and try to put two of them together into one, this thing just is never going to work to play tapes. So that's kind of disappointing, but I'm also not going to spend the time and money to get a cheap, nasty cassette player working either. But I still thought it was something that was neat to take a look at. It's a cool little device, and maybe I'll modify it and put a Bluetooth receiver or something in there that I could use to play music through it, just as kind of a novelty or something. But anyway, that's all I have for today, really. I wish I could have got a little bit further with it for you. But have you guys ever seen one of these before? Handled one? Used one? I know I've got viewers that are from all around the world, and for some of you, this may be a forgotten and forgettable piece of equipment that maybe you had when you were younger. So if you did, definitely let me know about it in the comments below. I love hearing from each and every one of you, and I try to respond to every one of those comments that I can, because I really value your input and your experience too, because I am not an expert on these things by any means. And another reminder, if anybody'd like to support the channel, it's not required, but it is definitely appreciated. Go down to the YouTube memberships, buy a YouTube membership, help support the channel so I can buy these things and ship them over here, because it is not cheap to do so, and this is not my full-time job. It's just a hobby. So if you'd like to support the channel a little bit, I do appreciate it. YouTube memberships or Patreon. I do have members-only content that I put on both of those platforms. The YouTube membership seems to be the one that I'm going to concentrate a little bit heavier on, because it's a little bit simpler to do member content on there than it is on Patreon, and try to link it all together and keep it members only. Anyway. But thanks again for watching. That's all I've got today. We'll see you guys next time, and happy listening.